Hey Josh, welcome to week 3. Now, if you access this week 3 on Sunday, then you had a different intro video. And I realized there were a couple of things missing that might have made your assignment seem a little confusing. So I brought this more in line with what's in the syllabus. Last week, we looked at learning styles, modalities. We looked a little bit at how the brain works, how we learn, how we form long-term memories, as well as some strategies for studying with our brains in mind so that we can maximize the time that we spend studying and get that into our long-term memory. So this week and next week, we're going to be looking at some other mental aspects to learning. And this week it's grit. Grit is perseverance over time, even though a task might be difficult. What keeps you going? What keeps you going at this education, even though you've got a lot of challenges for your time? You've got challenges finding a nice quiet place and time for you to study and have some time for yourself. What keeps you at it? And that is your grit. Let me walk you through your assignments. Here are the learning objectives as well as what we're doing in D2L. Now we're doing quizzes again, but the quiz is different this week. Last week's quiz was a quiz as a learning tool. This week's quiz is more like quiz as a review tool. It's called Quiz to Mastery. And lots of instructors do the quizzes to mastery. This means that you have an unlimited number of times in this coming week to take this quiz and get to 100%. And this is a really great tool for students, especially in the kind of high-powered, high-credit load classes that you're taking. Reviewing material really helps it get into your long-term memories. And the quiz to mastery really lets you zone in on the areas where you're really fuzzy. You're also going to do a grade review. This week is going to be a credit recovery week. You don't really need it, but some teachers do this, and I think it's really good to have some strategies in your student backpack, as it were, to help you develop a credit recovery plan if you find yourself behind in a class. Or maybe you have a friend, a classmate, a colleague who finds themselves behind in a class. So I've got some tools for you to look at, some strategies, and that's going to be associated with your grade review. And then we have other assignments and discussions. Here's your checklist. So the first thing I'm going to have you watch is this short 6-minute video with Angela Lee Duckworth. Now, she pioneered the research into grit. So after you watch that, then read this web page, the 5 research-based ways to increase grit. And so that'll give you the background for this week, and that's all you have to read and watch. So now let's go to do, because there's a lot more here. The first is the quiz to mastery, and that is based on Angela Lee Duckworth's video. So watch that video, take the quiz to mastery, take it as many times as you want to in this coming week, get to 100% if you can. Whatever your final grade is by Monday night, that's the grade that will go into the grade book. And then take the grit scale survey. I'm going to do that as well, and that will help us give us some background going into the discussion. We're going to discuss grit. Here's the link to the grade review. I would like you to review your grades, see if it's where you expect to be, and then just tell me about that in the assignments folder. That springboards into a credit recovery plan. You don't need it, but you could find yourself needing to do this in the future, or you could have a friend or colleague who needs it. So with the grade review, you have 2 options. If you were earning a C or lower, I would want you to put together a recovery plan for yourself. What were going to be your steps to get your grade up to an A or B? If you're already earning an A or B, then I would like you to develop some advice for a friend. And this can just be a checklist of strategies if you want. To give you a little background knowledge, here's a video. I think this is about 6 minutes long on how to create a credit recovery plan. And you should always have access to this video. You can copy the YouTube link to it if you want. this could come in handy sometime in your future. So I think that's the credit recovery plan. And then, of course, you've got your time management update. Tell me how that is going with your calendar blocking. I believe that is the last thing in the due. Yep, there's the last thing in due is your time management update. Just give me a brief update on that. And then let's just look at want to know more. I've got a couple of things in here that you may be interested in exploring. Here is a link where you can read a little bit more about grit. And then this is a Freakonomics podcast, of course, so this is long. It's 45 minutes. I just absolutely love that show, Freakonomics. And this was one that was from a few years ago on NPR on how to get more grit in your life. So if you're interested, that is there only if you're interested. It's not required. Okay, well, have a great week, and I'll see you in D2L. Bye-bye.